Manchester United beaten and embarrassed in the opening game of the Ten Hag era. This looked very Ollie. This looked very Ragnick. The players let themselves down. The system non-existent for large parts of this game. Embarrassment at the back. A lack of effort from Fred. McTominay awful. Rashford looking finished. Bruno, the worst. The worst we've seen him play in a Manchester United shirt. No goal scored by us today. An own goal from Brighton gave us the third. Could have conceded a penalty and much, much more. An embarrassing, an abysmal opening day performance from Manchester United. Another defeat. More heartache for fans. The Glazers not spending. The protests are pointless. It's going to be a long, hard season.
Absolutely magnificent.
Manchester United, absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking today. Before I speak about that, though, I want to praise Brighton. Pressed well, held on to possession beautifully, moved the ball with elegance and with silk. This was a Graham Potter masterclass today. Welcome to the Premier League, Eric Ten Hag. Welcome to the Premier League when you start a game with McFred. Welcome to the Premier League when you don't have a recognised striker. Welcome to the Premier League when you maybe have just put a little bit too much faith in some of the old guard who were disappointing last year. Welcome to the Premier League. This is what it is all about. And I don't want to take anything away from Brighton. It's why I wanted to mention them first. When it comes to Manchester United, nothing but horrendous. Nothing but horrendous. That's all you can say. Absolutely nothing but horrendous from Manchester United. They were beyond poor today. Beyond poor. One of the worst performances I have seen from a Manchester United team in my life. Lackluster, lazy, no quality on the ball, shrinking violets. And I'm going to go through player by player here. Firstly, Fred of McFred. They're both getting this. I see a lot on the timeline. McTominay. Fred was the worst player on the pitch today. That doesn't say a lot for McTominay. He was like, if you're going to rank Fred as 0, he was like 0.1, like marginally better. And that's because Fred was hugely culpable for the second goal of the game. And that shouldn't be ignored by anybody. It absolutely needs to be focused on. KJ, if you're backstage, can you just star the super chat so I don't miss any? Sorry, my friend. And from my point of view, Fred was atrocious today. Fred, when he's facing his own goal, is one of the worst midfielders in the Premier League. But I get there's going to be defense of him online because he doesn't suit the narrative of the particular players that certain Man United fans want to focus on. But he was dog breath. Next to him was cat breath in Scott McTominay. Now, as a real Man United fan, you can criticize both players because they were both poor. You don't need to pretend that you're mentally ill and ignore the flaws in one player to create the agenda against the others. McTominay was absolute cat breath. This guy shouldn't have been on the football pitch up until the 77th minute. Are you joking, Eric Ten Hag? You've got Garner on the bench, who is a superior football player. Give him a go. Donny van der Beek on far too late in the game. It's 13 minutes to try and create something different. Abysmal. Fred and McTominay, shocking. He cannot continue to play them and think they're going to massively improve. You then look at the attacking line. Rashford. The guy looks shot. The sitter that he missed is people say, oh, good save. Top Reds, oh, good save. You bury that chance. Yes, the flag went up, but we saw the replay. It was onside. Shocking from Rashford. Sancho on the other side. Mr. Invisible today. He did a bit towards the end. Why doesn't he want to try and take on a fullback? The guy couldn't beat an egg. Doesn't even try either. It's so infuriating to see and to watch. Zilch from him. Bruno Fernandes. 18 months ago, for a year and a half, this player was sensational. Yeah, he'd lose the ball. Yeah, he'd make mistakes. But he'd come up with a goal. He would create an abundance of chances. Today, back to moaning, back to whinging, back to his the worst performance I've ever seen from him in a Manchester United shirt. It was horrendous, to say the least. It really was horrendous. And there isn't an ounce of the players I've mentioned that deserve any credit in any way, shape, or form. I thought Luke Shaw and Delo had bad games, not the worst on the pitch, but bad games, early mistakes from Delo, Shaw not pushing out early enough for the goal. I actually didn't think Maguire and Lissandro Martinez were that bad at the back. I didn't think they were that bad. Lissandro Martinez was better, but we did concede 2 goals and we lost, so nobody gets a massive amount of praise from me. And then De Gea did all right. Distribution, bad again. And that's it, really. I mean, I'm talking about the main 11 that started. Ronaldo did okay when he came on. I'm not really focusing on the subs. I think they came a little bit too late into the game. Even Ronaldo should have been on this football pitch 35 minutes into the game. But there's no doubt about it. And I think from my point of view, it was very frustrating to see that it wasn't even the overall, the performance level and the ability terrible. The execution atrocious. But the lack of fight, the lack of work rate, I'm telling you, when you hear Erik ten Hag speak, that's going to dominate 60-70% of what he talks about because it was non-existent. When Danny Welbeck is outworking you, you've got major problems. Now, listen, people, we asked our YouTube channel, if we get past 1,250 likes, we're going to gift you 20 free memberships on the show today. So make sure you're getting that done. But Man United need more players. Man United need to, and Erik ten Hag needs to be strong. Very strong in dropping Ronaldo. Kind of forced into it with Martial for certain reasons. Martial not being there made it harder, but he stuck with it. Bruno, Rashford, Scott, and Fred, all of their positions in this team have to be under huge threat. Huge threat. Luke Shaw the same. Maybe he decided I'm going to play with last year's guard, last year's team to give them a chance to impress me before I introduce my players. I think one game is enough if that indeed is your plan. Anything more than that, and you're going to throw away more points. Whether it's ability, whether it's mentality, whether it's confidence, or a combination of all three, it doesn't really matter. The opinion on why it's going wrong is irrelevant. What we really need to focus on is how do we fix it? And not starting all these players together, for me, is a key outcome. Without a shadow of a doubt, has to be the key outcome that Manchester United Football Club focus on here. Now, I want to go to some of your super chats. Nabil here says, Fungus fans were right when they said Man United needs signings in June and July. McFred can't take the ball from the back to forward. Pitch was too dry. Well, no, people are misconstruing what Fungus fan means. Fungus fan means I only wanted to sign the manager's number 1 targets and then moaning that we don't sign our 3rd or 4th choice targets. That's a Fungus fan. If someone's saying, I think we need our players in earlier, and that's what they've always asked for, is absolutely acceptable. Don't misconstrue and misuse Fungus fans and mushrooms. It's when you moan about things you've been given that you asked for. You know, ordering a milkshake and moaning that it's cold. You know, ordering a Vindaloo and then moaning there's spice on your food. That's a Fungus fan. Like, don't misconstrue it there, Nabil, as you'll ruin it, my old mate. Nice try, though. Bailey and Varane should be our centre backs. We have Garner, Eriksson, Van der Beek as our midfield positions. If you play the same players, you get the same results. Listen, I agree with that. I really do agree with where you're coming from there, my friend. We need a new midfield. When will the board wake up? Well, we have to decide as fans whether this is a new board, this is the board decision, or whether this is the manager's decision. If the manager's being backed and his choice is I want no one but De Jong and I'm going to wait until that fight's over, then it isn't the board. And I'm not one to defend the Glazers. That's where I'm in two minds on this. Is it Glazonomics or is it the board? What do you think? Ten Hag deserves a result like this for starting McTominay, Maguire, Rashford, Fernandes, and Shaw, is what Ty has got to say. That was brilliant to watch, especially as an Arsenal fan. Of course, rivals are going to absolutely love seeing this. They're going to absolutely love seeing it. They've got every right. And do you know the most painful thing as a Man United fan? We're the biggest club in the world. Everybody tuned into our game today. I saw people tweeting, oh, what was Chelsea's score? Oh, what was Arsenal's score last night? Everyone tuned in to Manchester United today. That's what makes it more embarrassing. That's what makes it more painful. We're the biggest club in the world. Everybody cares about our results, but we're atrocious, but we're awful, and we're absolutely horrendous. So, yeah, I get it completely. Rivals, enjoy. Glazers sitting in the stand, smiling with John Murta, whilst us fans are being gutted, is what Grant has got to say here. Maguire is the worst player to consistently play for us in 20 years. Was scared to put a tackle in, so he stood off and asked Martinez to do. I want to say, I'm going to defend Maguire there and listen to my logic. We moaned about him stepping out and making those tackles last year because he lacks the recovery pace if he gets turned. You then can't moan if you sign the player who's quicker, who then steps out to make those tackles while Maguire sits back. We ask for him to sit back. That's what I mean. For me, that's a fungus opinion. It's you're moaning at him for not doing the things that you moaned about him being bad at doing. That's where I'll defend him. You can't say, I want my players to press. And then when we get pressed and the ball gets overturned, played past us, moaning that we pressed. You either want him to step out and make those challenges or you don't. I think he shouldn't step out because he gets turned too easily and he doesn't have the speed of recovery. I prefer Martinez to do it. That isn't doing two persons' jobs. It's having one attacking and one sweeping. It's what most defenses do, in my opinion. Terry always said mushrooms are obsessed with signing preseason. Signing in preseason. Not going to lie, they proved I'm right, I'm afraid. I didn't say it's about signing in preseason. I said that they're moaning that we're not signing the manager's number one targets, but they're moaning that we're not just signing anybody. Which do you want? Have an actual opinion rather than just floating with the wind. Do you know what I mean? Like a waste paper bag just floating through the air. Ten Hag must be fired. Eriksen is a stinker as a striker. No, false nine, not striker. The strangest choice of all time. Creative Eriksen is a centre forward. Well, that's what false nines are meant to do. They get the ball, they drop back, and your inside forwards and your number 10 in Bruno run on to the play. Your false nines are not necessarily meant to be a goal scorer. That's my understanding of that position, my friend. Just mine, maybe. Manchester United are finished already this season, is what KDB has got to say. If he keeps playing these lots, it's career suicide, is what Joe believes here. Sean says, Sancho is Pepe 2.0. He has to be talked about. Listen, he does today. He does today because he was horrendous. And I don't think he shouldn't be getting no get out of jail free card. Nobody should in a Manchester United shirt. Buckle up. It's going to be a long, hard season. Red Wolf is bang on. Red Wolf is absolutely bang on. It's going to be a very, very long and hard season for Manchester United. Eric Teabag is what KDB has got to say here. The opening 16 seconds shows what type of game, lack of focus and intensity from the start. Same damn problems as last season is what Joshua Jack has got to say here on the terrace. 3 years, Belinda in the process. I don't kind of get the Belinda bit. Can you explain Belinda to me? That's gone right over my head, that one there. Right over my head, me old mate. There we go. See if you saying my Maguire comments are wrong. I'm just stating this. Tell me what you want from Maguire. And you might not have the same opinion as everybody else. Do you want him stepping out or sitting back? I want him sitting back because he has no pace to recover. We can't then moan that he's sitting back. What the best option would be, don't play him. Have Martinez and Rafael Varane, in my opinion. But if he's on the pitch, I don't want him doing the things he's bad at. That's weird, right? We all say Rashford shouldn't shoot from distance. You can't then moan if he doesn't shoot from distance. That's the bit that I love about football fans, but maybe it's just the anger coming out today. I didn't think our centre-backs were too bad. Midfield, full-backs, absolutely atrocious. Fred, worst player on the pitch. Lazy. I mean, I've got a graphic here of the goal. I mean, you look at that there and you just think to yourself, standing still. Now, ironically, Manchester United scored from the resulting corner, but Eriksen had a shot. Their keeper, Sanchez, parried it. It went out. Veltman, instant reaction, boom, cleared it. That's what forget defenders. That's what your players should be doing. As are always asleep. Stereotypical of Manchester United. Always, always, always asleep. We've got some guys backstage. Oh my Dizzy, Jinky Knows, KJ, all going to come on and join me momentarily on the show as a bit of a panel here. This here says, it's so bad as a United fan. I'm not angry anymore. Just used to it, is what Jay has got to say. Mate, I get it. I get it. I really, really do. I get everybody's frustration. I get everybody's annoyance. I get everybody's kind of anger at the situation because I've certainly, I'm certainly annoyed. I'm certainly annoyed at the way we play today. It's horrendous. Some more super chats here. People need to understand Terry doesn't know how to take an L. He'll change the goalpost every time. Waste of time. What are you talking about? What am I taking an L on? What am I taking an L on? I've been asking for 9 years to not just sign willy-nilly and only sign the manager's targets. Therefore, I have to be patient in that process. I've moaned about it taking so long, but I don't want to sign our fourth, fifth choice. That's failed us in the past. So I'm willing to give this new manager's approach time. How's that me not taking an L? Because we've lost the opening day of the season. When I take the L is if this approach doesn't work over a 2 to 3 year period. You can't take an L on a new manager's rebuild on day one. Come on, the Bill. You've had a mare there, my son. Breaking news: Frankie De Jong decided to reduce his salary and play for the under 17s goalkeeper after watching Ten Hag ball. Thought that was serious for a minute there. Needs reforming completely. I don't know what PGM is. That the people that do the VAR reviews? Easiest penalty. Yeah, I think Man United were lucky to not give a penalty away. Equally, though, 30 seconds before that, a foul was given on Maguire for absolutely no reason when he wins the ball in the middle. We saw a number of bad decisions. Thank you, Prince, for the super chat. You didn't say anything, but thank you very much indeed. Ten Hag's head-shaped looked more dangerous. That's from AFC Singh. Thank you very much. Thank you for becoming a new member, my friend. I really appreciate that. I do. Another super chat without any comments, but thank you for the donation. I'm not even surprised. It's like the same team. What do fans expect? They have turned us down before. Let Erik Ten Hag build his team. Patience is key. I think patience is key with Ten Hag. I'm intrigued by the next game. Does he start 8, 9, 10 of those players again? That's going to be telling for me. Garner on the bench. Give Donny. I know some people are skeptical over Donny, and I put out a sarcastic tweet saying, how dare Ten Hag bully him and not see that he's a baller. A lot of people don't get sarcasm. But if he doesn't pick Donny the next game, doesn't pick Garner, picks Rashford, starts any of McFred, I'm going to be worried. I'm going to be worried if he does it. I'm going to be worried. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to turn on him. I'm just going to be worried. Why not start Ronaldo instead of trying to act like a fake bald hard man? How about starting the best player? Time to start pushing Ten Hag out is what the Infiltrator 101 has got to say there. Without Salt, your thoughts on Martinez today? I thought Martinez was good. There was a few moments, like Martinez, I could tell by watching the game, there was almost like anything he didn't do right, there was going to be skepticism over. But he won every header he went up for. He wasn't bullied in the air. You could tell by the commentators. I think I counted 7 times they mentioned his height. I even heard how they said we might concede corners on players that he's not marking because other players are under pressure to win the ball because he's so short. I'm like, I have never. That's like saying if you've got any player in your box, you're in a corner that's 5'8", they're going to cause you to lose headers, even if you're 6'6" centre backs miss a head. I don't get it, but I thought Martinez played well today. To be fair, good distribution, a shot that just went over, did all right. But no one in the Man United team gets a rating of higher than a 5 because we lost, and we weren't playing well. 3 years, 3 years behind the process. I hear you there, my friend. Solve this equation. You have Ten Hag and Brighton kills. Sorry. You have Ten Hag and Brighton kills 1. How many Hags left? He said 9 Hag. Is that meant to be like a brain teaser? I'm so dumb. I don't get it. I'm very, very sorry. The game shows Erik Ten Hag that no matter how good he is tactically, the Fred and McTominay midfield will never work. Look, I agree with you on that. That midfield cannot play. You've got academy players that are better than those two. And I'm not going to sit here and just have a go at McTominay because it's fashionable on Twitter. And you kind of get cooked when you go after Fred. There's like a little defense out there for him. Fred was atrocious as well. They are as bad as each other. And what happens with both of them, every now and then, one of them will have a really good game and the timeline will side with one of them. Fred will have 2 or 3 good performances. It doesn't work. Fred's good if he's playing in a more offensive role. Facing his own backline, get out. When he faces his own goal, Fred, get out. McTominay, just get out in general. Sit on the bench. Do you know what I mean? Be a ball boy. Do something. Useless. Absolutely useless. But neither deserve defending. Imagine having Austin Powers for Nash as your manager. Oh, you mean Dr. Evil? I get you. Bald jokes. Get the bald jokes out of the way, people. What bald person does Ten Hag look like? And don't say me, because I've got hair now, people. I got hair. Right. I'm bringing the panel out, people, now. Make sure the like button is being smashed. Make sure you're subscribing. We've got Cameron. We've got KJ. We've got Jinky Nose. We've got Oh My Dizzy all ready to come on and have their say. We've got more super chats to come. We haven't missed them. They're starred and they're ready for you, people. So they will be coming on momentarily on the show. Let's get the panel out now. Let's keep this going. Let's go. Welcome back, Jenks. Disappointing performance from Manchester United. Abysmal, really. Congratulations to Brighton. KJ, give me your thoughts on the new era under Ten Hag.
He learned a big lesson today. Eric Ten Hag learned a big lesson today. He made some key mistakes. With the first one obviously being starting McTominay and Fred. He must have thought that they've got the experience, put them together, and they'll just do a job for today. Can't do that here. This is the Premier League, my friend. You know what I mean? If you're gonna have a possession-based system, you can't have McTominay and Fred as your pivot midfielders. It can't happen. Maybe one, but you got to have someone next to them who's proficient on the ball, and you just let one of them just run around and win the ball back. Literally, you can't have both of them. The subs came, I think, in my opinion, way too late. Some should have been made at halftime. Some should have been made after like 65, especially when we started to get the momentum back. He should have said, right, Luke Shaw wasn't delivering. Come off, Malacia, come on, give him some game time. You know what I mean? Rashford was getting in the right positions, but your finishing was poor. Yo, Garnacho, here's your chance. Come on, run at them. You know what I mean? Like he's probably, this is like a big learning lesson for him, and he needs to learn from this. He really does. Like if he doesn't, that's when I think as a fan base we will be concerned. I won't be Ten Hag out, but people will be concerned and people will start to shout their frustration. So big lesson learned today. I hope in the next game that he corrects them. And welcome to the Premier League. That's all I can say, really.
I hear you on that. What are you saying, Dizzy? Of the optimism from Man United fans, excitement to see the new team, 2 new starters today, but it felt very Ollie. It felt very Ralph. It felt very, very bad.
Well, for me, I didn't really have much optimism, to be honest. And it's not like me being like super negative. It's just the reality of the situation. I was talking with Patrick and some of the other guys at the TFT live event. Thank you for having me, by the way. And they was like, nah, you guys have Brighton. You guys have him under control, blah, blah. And my thing was, when Ragnick said, I think before he left, he said, it doesn't take somebody with glasses to see the problems here. We need wholesale changes. We need 10 new players, whatever the case was. A couple weeks later, they shipped him back off to Austria or wherever the hell he went. For me, that was like, something ain't right here. Something ain't right. And then what's it called? You see the starting lineup and the whole defensive structure, minus Martinez, is exactly the same as last year. So I was like, yeah, I don't know about all this. I'm not going to lie. And also, on your point about Maguire, I think the problem isn't that he either commits or he like stays back. Is that when he doesn't commit, he's just watching the ball. He's not picking a man and making sure that he's marked. He's just standing in a half space where players can run around him and that sort of thing. And I think that's what the frustration is with a lot of United fans, to be honest. But, game 1, I'm pissed, but, it is what it is. Hopefully he's learned his lessons and some of the players that start today don't start tomorrow or next week.
I hear that, Cam. From your point of view, there's a lot of players on whose necks are on the line. A lot of fans angry with them. Fred, Rashford, Maguire, obviously getting a lot of stick today as captain. Sancho, people starting to lose patience with him. Is it weird to you that basically today's starting lineup, barring 2 new signings, was full of all the problematic players from last season?
A little bit. I don't think Ten Hag can do what Conte did, where it was kind of like he started his old team being like, all right, my new signings, you got to play your way in. Old signings, like the dudes here, fight them off. Our old guys aren't good. Like, we brought him in for a reason, like, straight up. Like, Shaw was terrible for the first, like, I thought Malacia played him in the whole I thought that was the whole thing. I'm like, oh, cool, Malacia's taken his spot. And then Shaw starts and is absolutely trash. Delo was good and bad. It was like, but we don't have anybody else. I'm not going to get on Maguire that bad. I don't think the center backs were terrible like that. The second goal, I can't remember, was all Scott McTominay's fault. Like, he lost the ball in the midfield and literally couldn't chase back. The one thing you hope he can do right is be athletic and get back, and he couldn't. Everybody discombobulated at that point. Sancho was bad, which sucks because I like Sancho and I wanted. But like, when has Sancho started a season good? Like, this is just, it's such a problem for this kid. He never starts a season well anywhere. So hopefully he figures it out because I have a lot of faith in him. The talent's there. Rashford's finishing. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like we're saying a lot of the same things as last year, where it is unfortunate because it's not like Ten Hag's not trying to buy attackers. We got priced out of Antony. We clearly Martial was gonna start, and we might have seen something from him. He gets hurt. Rashford up top was never the thing. That was never supposed to be a thing. It should never be a thing. We all know that. I think Ten Hag knows that. He was strong in not starting Ronaldo. We can all say anybody who was watching what was going on, we were all probably happy. He stuck to his guns. He did not start Ronaldo. Obviously, it hurt the team on the on the fucking scoreboard. But at the end of the day, I think it was the right decision, and it shows he's still the right manager, and he's going to make those decisions. Now the midfield is like, what do? We have to go. You know what? Go screw it. Give Barcelona 120 M's. Take Dest. Take Frankie De Jong. Give them everything they need. Because we need our midfield just needs sorting. I would start Iqbal. I would literally just be like, you know what, youngsters, go in there. And Donnie at the end of the day is probably a better choice too. But they're all out of position right now because none of these guys work in the double pivot. When you put Donnie beside Ericsson with Bruno, I don't see how that works either. But we were bad. Like there's no way around it. There's nothing else to be said other than we were really bad. That last spell at the end there for the last 20, 25, 30 minutes, we looked decent when Ronaldo came on. I will say that. But yeah, I want to see Malacia start next game. I'm done with Shaw. I really wanted that was Shaw was really bad. I don't think I see people coming for Martinez, and I'm like, I mean,
it's his first game in the Premier League.
It's his first game of the Prem, right? Like, yeah, he got pushed around a bit, but he stood up to all the fights. I'll give him that. Like they were bullying, they were coming at him, but he stood up to it. So it's his first game. I'm not going to go at him. And again, like I'm not going to go that hard at Maguire because I think he was doing what he was asked to do. Realistically, like you said, Terry, he was stepping forward, he was driving with the ball. I think he was asked to do that. So, like it's one thing or the other, right? So I don't know.
Well, I'm going to go jinking a bit. What I saw today from fans, and I'm frustrated as well. I'm not saying people shouldn't be frustrated. And what I'm about to say is going to get completely misconstrued because people you've got to be angry and nothing but angry. What I saw today was the knock-on effect of having no sacrificial sales. So I don't think Maguire was that bad, but people want to be angry at him. Fred were, and they deserve the criticism. Rashford wasn't great. He missed it. Those guys deserve to not be there. But what I felt even from the first minute, so in the end, Rashford missed that big chance. You can go, I knew he shouldn't have started. But from 5 minutes in, reading the responses to the team news, it was like people were angry. What we got wrong this summer was not having Maguire sold. If Maguire was sold, it just removes that frustration. Because if Maguire's performance today was another new centre-back, it's okay, guys. Let's stay calm. Let's be relaxed. If Rashford isn't starting and Garnacho's being given an opportunity, even if he makes the same mistakes, it's okay, guys. I think what Ten Hag's got wrong, it's like he's reignited all the anger and frustration of last season in the first game, if you get where I'm coming from. It feels like a little bit of that. But Jinky Nose is here. What are you saying, mate?
First of all, I just want to back to Manchester United because the whole cock-up in the transfer window has led to this moment here. And I'm not going to get on Ten Hag's back. I think he has to learn quick. But it's the reality of what happens when you sleep in a transfer window. United have had opportunities to replace half of these bums, and they haven't. As you said, we haven't sold these players. We haven't moved. We've gone to other clubs far too late. You know, Ajax is obviously the team that we keep going to get players. Well, how is it that Bayern Munich could just come in and literally buy several players on the cheap? Why? Because they've done it early. We've come in a month too late and then wondering why Ajax are putting up prices. Same for any other club at that point. I know that there's Sesko that we're looking at. They've put up their prices because he wants to sell their players this late on. But we're going to this actual game. It was poor. It was poor all over. To be honest, Ten Hag has to learn very quickly. I kind of disagree slightly on Martinez. I thought there were moments where he was pretty bad. He got shaken off a bit. I think he lunged in too often. I think it's more of an overcompensation thing. But I'm not going to get on his back too much because it's his first game in the Premier League. Luke Shaw, just get out. Like, honest to God, this guy he just looks so unfit. He looks so unfit, and a bit like with what the panel said, Malacia looked like he was the one that was going to come in and replace. And by all accounts, looked quite good in pre-season. Bit of a strange decision. I thought for me personally, in my opinion, I thought Eriksen being a false nine was a bit of a strange decision. I would have switched him and Bruno, because if it was out of the two, I trust Eriksen to do that final ball better than Bruno. Bruno's a bit more of a percentages guy. Rashford, again, this guy's in his last year of the contract. He needs to be careful. Like, he really needs to be careful.
Shit.
This is a guy who could have a career like Phil Walcott or Danny Welbeck. And you know what? That's ironic me saying that about Danny Welbeck, because he actually is quite good compared to our team. It was poor. Ten Hag also, just to echo through the comments, he made changes far too late. He made changes far too late. One thing that I associate with Ten Hag is actually structure and organisation. So even if there's a bit of low IQ with some of these players when it comes to the passing game, positionally we're all over the shop. Second half, it was just so open and free roaming. Eriksen, actually, when he decided to be a defensive midfielder, I thought it was actually very, very good. There was a lot of control. He did that by himself, by the way. So with McTominay and Fred being so shit, excuse my French, Eriksen coming and doing that by himself, it was actually good. So I'd advocate for him to be in that position more, if I'm being honest.
In the pivot, has to be one of Danny van der Beek or Eriksen for me. Like, there is no ball retention. There's no forward passing. How many times did they either pass backwards or they tried to pass forwards and it would just go to an opposition player? Their game is to be the guy that runs around and win the ball back and play off. And we can't do what we want to do with them in the team. Like, we can't. And then talking about signings and options, our Man United fans going to be happy with Arnautovic because we're getting linked to him.
Well,
you know what I mean? We're getting linked to him. So
yeah, we are. I mean, listen, I don't think Arnautovic is that great a player. When you read the full report, it's that is one of those signings where it's like we're looking for a player like him who could potentially sit on our bench. But I'm not being funny. I trust him centrally more than Rashford. I trust him centrally.
For sure.
I like, if you think, but look, Martial, I would trust more. But if we lose Ronaldo and we're left with Martial as our number 9, I'd rather have Arnautovic on our bench than no one, because we don't have anybody else that's ready to do that. So I hear that. But what we actually need to go out and do in this window now is, yes, we know that the price for Šeško is being pushed up. He's a Ten Hag target. Yes, it's 55 million. But if it's the manager's target, I'm happy to spend the money. It's only if the manager's going, listen, I don't want him, I don't rate him, then don't drop £1 on him. But we need another striker, because as soon as Ronaldo came on, there was a focal point. We did become better, slightly better. And we missed that false 9 thing. I said it on the stream the other yesterday. The false 9 is dead. Long live the king. I think the false 9 tactic in football is going to be it's being phased out now. You've literally seen the best 2 managers of the last 5 years that have used it get rid of it this year, because because defenses have learned how to play against it, because that's what happens with every tactic and every system is eventually it gets found out and you've got to reinvent things ever so slightly. And we've got to go out and spend some money now. The club has got to make a decision in the next week. Do we really believe we're getting De Jong? If not, let's get out into that market. Ruben Neves is still available as an example. Tielemans is, listen, go and buy Yuri Tielemans and Neves tomorrow, and suddenly our midfield improves tenfold. We suddenly have a midfield we can all go, okay, I'm not saying it's world class, but it's better. There are options out there, and the club's got to make this decision. And then as fans, we've got to decide what we want. We've got to decide whether we wait for these number 1 targets, even if that's 6 months, a year away, or whether we go, actually, no, we need to improve still in the short term. And then maybe buy De Jong again. Maybe you do buy De Jong in a year's time if he's still available. I'm saying, people.
But Terry, for me, this is where it confused me. So Frankie De Jong's been discussed enough, and let's move past him. The fact of the matter is, I keep hearing this argument of we got to have De Jong because that's what Ten Hag wants. Well, at the same time, we're always complaining about McTominay. McTominay is a box-to-box midfielder. So Tielemans, as you just said, he is clearly better. So what is wrong with just having a better box-to-box midfielder who can just come in? And even if long term he becomes a squad player, what is the issue that we've actually got strength and depth? I don't get it. I honestly don't get the fan base.
I think the problem is at the point now, if I am a Leicester, if I am a Wolves, if I am Barcelona, for example, I just watch United play. Whoever you want, it's got to be 100 M's, baby. I ain't selling for no less than 80 M's. So we're paying first option money and first option wages on our second or third or fourth choice. So by the time we get the first option in the summer or 2 summers time. Now we stuck with this player that we can't get rid of because we waited too long, and now we don't know what to do with him, and he's sitting on the bench inflating the wages. And I think that's the tricky thing, to be honest. I don't know how
we're watching 9 years of failure, mate. That's all it is. We're watching 9 years of failure play out. And this is a point I want to bring up. One of those pagans, was in the stands today. Okay, I won't say too much about the person because I don't want to cost them mental health and that. But they're in the stands watching that. And what were the fans doing? Did the fans indicate their frustration to that person? Did we sing any songs about them?
I would assume they did because, like, legit, when I was there, that's all they did was sing songs about the Glazers. Like, I would assume they did. I don't know. You can't hear it on TV because they literally don't play those songs.
No, they do. I mean, there was a protest before the game as well, but I saw at least 20% of the people in the protest wearing the new Man United shirt. The Glazers are laughing at you. It's crazy, right? Because listen, I always have these sweeping statements, and sometimes I don't think about everybody's personal situation. You know, I saw a guy today whose child, I believe, has recently got over a very bad illness, and they're at hotel football. They're going to the game today. Do I look at them and go, "You're not real United fans because you're giving the Glazers money"? No, like that's a young child and his father. Go have fun. I don't mean it like this. But I am talking to the 45-year-old geezer that goes to every game, that buys every shirt, that buys every ticket, that buys the merchandise, who probably won't buy products that sponsor rival teams. He's such a diehard fan. I'm like, why are you protesting and just giving them your money? Like people like that, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, because you have no real, there isn't a overtly emotional reason. Maybe there is for some people and that they've got their stories, but it's like you protest the Glazers, then go to the game. For me, it just feels weird. It's just a weird thing for me, you know. I wouldn't protest against the toxic, poisonous food that drinks that Coca-Cola make, and then go and buy a can of Lilt. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. I just don't understand that logic. That maybe that's just me, but I don't know. It's a crazy one. It really, really is. They were Ten Hag protests. He's saying here. We've got some super chats here. By the way, the West Ham City game's kicked off. We're live after that as well. I want to go through some of these super chats here. First one says, "You lost me when you said Maguire wasn't bad. Holy hell, zero awareness. You want me to show you the clips where he was walking when we conceded the second goal?" Again, I think Maguire. His performance today, I'd say 4 or 5 out of 10. I don't think he was getting cussed and slagged off seconds into the game. So it's people are looking for every little thing that maybe he didn't do right. Was he well class? No, I just think I think the attacking of Maguire today is so forced, so over the top, and West Ham nearly went 1-0 up. So forced and over the top. I don't think he's as bad as people were making out, in my opinion. But remember, if Maguire farts, there's outrage. Like that's why I said he should be sold, because I think we needed to remove that toxicity from the fan base, and it would have done, but of course the club didn't do it. I think OT was very naive to play Ten Hag. I think you mean. I thought you meant Old Trafford to play Fred and McTominay. Why is Eric Ten Hag the only one that thought that it can still work, and is Varane not fit?
Yeah,
Varane.
He
mentioned Varane. Go on.
Yeah. No, he spoke about Varane's fitness, saying that they're building his fitness back up. They're putting him on the plan and stuff. So he said he's happy with Varane. It's not a dropping thing, but I think because he knows he's injury prone, I think they're trying to manage that properly.
To be honest, Varane's pre-season hasn't been that particularly great either. He has looked out of step. So to bring him,
he was injured on pre-season as well.
Yeah, which I know the counter argument be, well, why are you starting Martinez then? But look, Martinez is obviously a lot fitter than Varane. Doesn't take much for Varane to get injured these days.
Yeah. I totally agree. Eric Teabag, already had that one, but thank you very much. Appreciate it. Man like Guyan here says, you guys were not far away, but you need 2 quality midfielders. If not, you will not finish above Tottenham and Arsenal. Well, I think on your point, Jinky, I think where you're right is this. I'm someone that wants our number 1 targets, but equally, go and get Tielemans. He's better than McTominay. That's though where I think the Glazonomics comes in, because I don't think the money is there to do all of those things. That's why though there is a differential between backing the manager and saying I'm willing to give him time, because for us to bring in the volume of players that he needs, it's going to take time, because the Glazers are not going to go out there and do all that spending in one summer. We hope that they would, but they haven't. Sorry, mate, go on.
Yeah, as I say, my worry is though is that when it comes to Ten Hag, Fans aren't going to be patient enough for that. That's my worry, because I'm not going to be the one that's going to say Ten Hag out. My issue and gripe is with the rinse repeat that the club keep doing, and that's sleeping on these transfers far too late every single time. You could have got a Tillemans right at the end of the season, or when the transfer window opened up. Leicester knew he was on 1 year left, so you could have got that 40 mil done, move on to the next target. You could still concentrate on Frenkie de Jong. But that's the issue. We just take far too long.
Maybe there's a world, and I mean this. Maybe there's a world where Ten Hag truly needed to see this live in color, up close, 4K, just how bad to now to defer to go to the players that aren't his first choice, right?
Maybe.
Because he's probably like Lasernomics means he's got to wait for the money to be there to make sure he gets it.
Maybe there's an element of I'm going to do it this way round to keep the dressing room inside, to turn around and say, well, you've told me it was Ragnick's tactics, and you told me that you guys only played bad because of the bad training under the manager. I'll give you a chance. Prove it to me. There is a train of thought that suggests that, but you can't let it have too many games like that, because like that's already 3 points down this season. Absolutely. More super chats to come here. I'm not even surprised. It's like the same team. What the fans expect. They have turned us down before. Patience is key. Olu says McFred should never play together again. We need to buy 2 midfielders. Ten Hag shot himself in the foot with that Frankie de Jong pursuit. We need to buy 2 midfielders. Yves Bissouma would have been good for Yves Bissouma for 25 million. It's crazy.
Shit.
It seems Ten Hag is the only person that thought McFred could work. Very naive. Is Varane not fit? I think you should say that twice, actually.
Yeah.
But thank you very much. I can't read all those names.
It's just
Pep Hug, Klopp Hug, Con Hug, Tooch Hug, Mick Hug, Dave Hug, Path Hug. Yeah, that's too. You're doing too
it's
much.
basically saying everyone's better than him, basically.
Yeah, it's doing too much.
Get out Fred and McTominay, sell players to the EFL League. Biggest club in the world in terms of what? Well, biggest club in the world in terms of I guarantee you, this Man United game has the biggest viewing figures of all the games live this weekend, domestically and internationally. You are the biggest when the most amount of people watch you. Honestly, Potter would have been a Premier League proven choice. Listen, look, I think Graham Potter's excellent. I'm not even worried about Ten Hag at the minute. What I will say is my biggest thing I wanted to see within the first couple of months was a style of play. It's 1 game in. Like, I want to start seeing something soon. I'm not going to lie.
I will say, when the infamous 2 came off and we had Van der Beek and Eriksen midfield, I could see more of what we was trying to do. Like that. At least there's that. It's just, I think, the quality issue.
Yeah, I get you. Man United should have Conte. I mean, again, everyone's got.
It's the manager talks are jarring. I'm not gonna lie. We know what the problems are. The problems are the same problems that we had last season.
This is the thing, though. Like, it all depends what you want. I want my team to get back to winning, and Conte could have done that. But I'm a traditionalist at Man United. I want to win in a particular style, and that's not a dig at Antonio Conte. It's just that's how I want it. You know, like there's lots of countries that make nice cars, but I only drive German cars. That's just me. I don't care how good the Japanese cars are, the American cars are, the English cars are. I'm buying German. That's all I'm buying. Like, it's how I want it. It's what I want them to be like.
All I'm saying is Conte under this current structure right now. You think that's doing well?
Why are you ignoring that Bruno miss the season? Listen, I'm not ignoring the Bruno miss. I'm saying he looks to be dropped. I said he was atrocious today. I haven't specified all the mistakes, but I said he was terrible today. So sorry for not like specifying the miss. I mean, in fairness, it's so early in the game. So much has happened. I almost forgot about that miss, to be fair. But Bruno was awful today, and I think he should definitely be dropped. Wes here says Erik ten Hag agreed to give the old guard a chance. He's done that now, so hopefully the team will live up. Interesting, if the next game you see like a big evolution, then you'll know today was a test. It was almost you guys told us you were failing because of these other, and that's what I'm praying. That's me clutching on straws. You know that meme of the guy reaching for the straws? That's me.
Yeah.
Can someone tell me how that wasn't a penalty?
On Welbeck, that was a pen. Nah, that was a pen.
Techie. It was techie still. It was techie still.
It was a pen. It was a pen. There was nothing techie about it.
If that was an out, like, not given for us, I'm asking for a pen in it. That's what I'm saying.
Have they changed the protocol on handballs though? Because when it hit the last in the foot, they have. So I haven't read that yet so far. because I was like, I swear they were given last year for that. If your arm was like up for any reason, it didn't matter if it was.
I think it's the whole touching the body, bouncing off, and all of that. I think they
Okay.
changed that.
But it's good they've done that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Ten Hag was in the film Coneheads, weren't he? Pepe bagged 8 goals and 10 assists in his first season and got 16 and 5 in his second season. Thought Pepe isn't the best. So far, he's clear of Sancho. I want to ask about
those were in the Europa League, mate.
but on Sancho, though, Sancho was abysmal again today, wasn't he?
Again, it's one of those ones where I'm tired. I am tired of these players like Donny van der Beek and Sancho's getting there, where it's always, well, he needs the right kind of players to be able to do stuff. Like, I get that. I get it. But if you're really good, like we know that you are, you can still do a little something. Like, he only started playing when Van der Beek and Ericsson got dropped in midfield. And I understand, you got the people on the same wavelength, you can start doing combinations and stuff. But even if that's not the case, we still need more from you. But we do. I love Sancho. I do. I think Sancho is amazing. I think we can have a wonderful right winger in him this season. But he just needs to stop getting into these moments where he doesn't do anything for a game.
Well, I'll be honest with you, he looks like a chicken. Is in he's sizing a man up, and then he doesn't have the minerals to go at him. I remember there was a very famous MMA fight a few months ago now, where Masvidal fought I can't remember his name. He's not arch enemy. The guy that wears the MAGA hat.
Mokev?
No, he wears the MAGA hat.
MAGA hat. Oh, nah, I have no idea.
Chill,
I thought it was you, innit? Because you wear a red hat as well. So it could be.
It does.
I need to know his name now. It's going to annoy me. The people, the viewers will know instantly because they watch other sport.
Covington.
Kobe Covington. I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
In that fight, Masvidal is normally he's a stand-up merchant. He throws bombs and he tries to knock everyone out. He barely opened up because he was scared of gassing out, which he has a habit of doing, and getting caught by a man with a better engine, or being taken down and submitted by the superior wrestler and grappler. And I get the same vibe from Sancho. When he goes up against someone who's a decent defender, he doesn't try and take him on. It's like he's scared to. It's like, I don't want to in case it doesn't work. So I'm going to take the coward's way out and play the ball back. I'm going to play the easy option. The guy he has no guts. He has no get up and go. And I know that sounds really harsh and people won't like to hear it, but it's the truth. When he's confident, he takes anyone on. But why doesn't he? I think we're now seeing why Gareth Southgate don't rate him, to be honest. We're starting to see it. So fair play.
I think a lot of these players, if there's a slight change from perfection, they literally disappear. Like having Ericsson as that false nine, I reckon it's throwing Rashford and Sancho off, because let's be real. Like, all the conditions have to be perfect. The stars have to be aligned. The wind doesn't have to. It's a weird one.
You know what I think it is? I was watching Rashford do. He did it uninterrupted with LeBron and his people over there, and he was saying that when you're in a team that's losing, making a mistake is magnified like times 1,000, right? So it was like, so you don't want to make a mistake, and I think that's what's getting into a lot of players' heads. It's like. You see him, you saw when Sancho first touched down, he was taking on players, whether or not he lost the ball, whatever the case may be, he's doing it, right? Rashford, same thing. But then it gets to a point where now everything is so, oh my God, what are you doing? That they don't even want to take on a player because they don't want to make a mistake, and then they don't want to be like a highlight.
Bro, 100%. This is why I say I'm not suggesting. People they can't. What I see on socials is this: there's two trains of thought: mentality or ability. And I'm like, bro, it's both. Like, we know there are ability issues, but all our players, even the ones, and we know this because when these players were confident under Ollie, they came second in the league. And I'm not saying they were second. We know if Liverpool were on fire that year, we would have come third in the league, right? But we were winning more games. We went for a year period where we were playing well, and we had something like a 68% win ratio. Like, we're nowhere near that level now. And a lot of that is confidence on top of the lack of ability in certain positions, because there are so many players in teams that outplay. How many of those Brighton players today would you actually want us to buy? Casado? Would you want
I would see Trossard, probably.
Would you want Welbeck back in the Man United team?
No.
No.
But
he looked like prime Zlatan today.
Because he was playing with confidence against a team that don't have any. And it's so much of it is the mentality. Nabil here says, my problem is that there are players not good enough for United, and Man United needs to grow a backbone and, for God's sake, sell them. Agreed. But Welbeck is miles better than Rashford. Nobody was saying that when he was here. It's funny how the world changes when a player has no pressure on
Wait, when Rashford goes and we have another player that's not that great, they'll be like, Rashford's so much better than this player.
This is what will happen. Rashford will leave at some point. Maybe he goes away on a free. He joins Dortmund on a free, and year one gets 45 goal contributions. Oh, why didn't we keep him? That's what will happen. We know it. Chuck here, long time no speak, Chuck. He says, this was a total system failure. They panicked and reverted to the safe space, i.e. Ollie ball with no width, overlaps, movement, slow passing. The board needs to support Ten Hag. Not every transfer needs to be a saga. Listen, I do agree with that. I do agree with that. I really, it's a really good take there, my friend, and I understand where you are coming from. Viewers, make sure you smash that like button before you leave. Very important to the Football Terrace. I hate it when there's a big result and we've got another game because I've got to go and watch this game because I've got to go and report on it afterwards. So we're back live after West Ham versus Manchester City. We'll probably have a little mini roundup of the weekend. But of course, that is what the top 6 show is for tomorrow. Monstar, Chelsea fan, is joining us on that tomorrow. So that'll be a big show indeed. I want to say thank you, Cam, Dizzy, Jinky, and man like KJ for coming on and having your say. To all my super chatters and new members, thank you very much indeed. A poor start to the new Premier League, a new era for Man United. Brilliant from Brighton, but a beating and embarrassment again at Old Trafford. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you soon.